Welcome to the Soul Happy Success Show. Coach Rebecca here. And I get it. At the beginning of your business, you want to look professional, usually so you feel the part because you have a website. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So please like and subscribe before we get started so that you don't miss any of these shows. And let's dive in because the truth about websites at the beginning of your coaching business journey are more of an ego stroke than anything else. The thing is your business exists to do two things. It is a way to organize your content, which if you're at the beginning, you shouldn't have that much. Because if you're creating all of these things and you're spreading yourself so thin, you're probably not actually doing the work. If you're like, I've got the podcast and YouTube and socials, and here's my membership, my coaching program, my one-to-one. If you have all that at the very beginning, that's probably way too much for you, and people are so confused. What do I go to first? What is my trajectory? How are you leading a client through a journey is what they want to know. So you probably don't have all of those things at the beginning anyway. So a website is a great place to organize your content if you have a lot of it. And it also should be a place that is driving your sales engine. So it is getting more people into your intimate world, like your email list. And also, it is showcasing your programs and your one to one coaching and your membership as separate entities, which is why, if you are considering a website, I would implore you to look at sales funnels. Not so that I can get any kind of like kickback. I don't have any links. I don't have anything to sell you in terms of funnels, but at least look at the understanding of funnels and how they lead someone through a journey and through that lead generation into becoming a client instead of just having a very static website. And let's dive into the truth about websites because that was a little side note bonus tip. You know I love those. So truth one is that websites can really eat into your time, your money, your energy, especially for the non-tech savvy among us. I know at the beginning of my journey, I was just I'm a cuss, such a shit show with tech. And I still, to this day, when something works, I'm like, 10 points to Gryffindor, like, well done me. And I'm like super proud of myself. And, I'm very fortunate that now that I've done many of these things, then my clients come to me and they're asking, questions. I had a client a few weeks ago and she said, how do I share audio on Zoom? And I was like, girl, this is the most ratchet, easy training that you have ever got. I got my phone and I was just like recording it through my phone because if you understand Zoom, when you record it, then what will not happen is she won't see those pop-ups. So I had to like record it on my phone. It was like super dodgy, but it got the point across in 2 minutes or less. So I can now do those things because you're not tech savvy at the beginning. You're not sure how these systems work. You're not sure where's the audio function. So you have to learn that. Now, I had to learn that and I had to I was at YouTube, like YouTube University. Everyone that does tech tutorials on YouTube has saved my bacon more times than they will ever know. And thank you to those people that tirelessly work to put out that content because it helps me so much. But you're going to have to invest the time to learn the skill. So that's how it eats into your time. If it's not something you're particularly good at, skilled at, enjoy doing, it's going to instantly wipe your energy. And that can be so challenging at the very beginning, where you want to be energy rich and energy high and working on the things that move the needle. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But you want to be working on the things that are fun and that are driving the vision and they're exciting. Yes, there are going to be things that are challenging, but you don't want to spend so much of your time there that you're not doing any of the fun stuff. And that's where people get stuck, burned out, and say it doesn't work and they don't want to do it. And they've actually just been focusing on the wrong thing. Because typically you're used to that 9 to 5 being paid time, like being paid money for your time. And if you're working on something like your website, you're not going to get that. That doesn't have a direct correlational, income generating activity to have a website. It's not correlational. It won't move the needle. It won't get you those sales, especially in the beginning. If you're not setting it up to be a sales funnel, then your website is just there to be there to stroke your ego, to have an about me page so you can write about yourself. Like that's what a lot of coaching websites are like. You can actually check out my coaching website. It's exactly like that. It is not, it is absolutely not streamlined yet for programs and courses. And I'm working on that now. And it's taking a lot of my time and energy. And what I had to do was I had to decide I was going to take a back seat from everything else that's income producing. And I had to push a little bit harder. So I've got the extra time and the capacity to work on that. Now that's a personal choice. I'm choosing my time. I could equally choose money. I could throw money into it. I could have someone else build my website just like you could. So you're going to spend your time, or you're going to spend your energy, or you're going to spend your money on doing this. So if you're spending your money, then look at people that have proven results. And remember that it is not the be all and end all. They are not the holy grail. I've had clients in the past that have worked, and this was specifically for a sales funnel. So this isn't even taking into account websites, although they're very interchangeable or can be. So I just want to give you this example because it's something that is just so prevalent. Is one of my clients paid £10,000, a UK client, £10,000 for someone to set up her funnel for her. They set up the funnel, they had the leads in the funnel, and she didn't do the work, and it didn't work. No one's confused, right? So you can have all the systems in the world, but if you're not willing to put them out there, if you're not willing to keep up with the email list, if you're not willing to do the work on the back end, then no matter what it is, it won't work. If you're directing traffic to your website and expecting your website to do the heavy lifting at the beginning, it won't. You have no credentials. You have no, it's not like, if you look at the top performing coaches now, you'll see they all have this banner and it's like featured in Forbes, worked with this amazing athlete, testimonials from like the celebrities of our time, and they have a lot of influence. So their website is a way to breed influence. And you can't do that at the beginning because you don't have it. And like maybe you have an accreditation, but that means nothing to anyone. They didn't go through it. People don't actually care that much about your qualifications nowadays. It's just a fact because you don't need them to coach. You don't need them to coach. And you'll ask different pools of people, and different pools of people will say, yes, you must have a qualification for me to even consider working with you. But it's a smaller pool of people, that's for sure. So truth one, websites can really eat into your time and your energy. They don't make you money in the beginning. And here is why. Because truth number two is we spend most of our time, if we speak about America, that's where I live, so that's where a lot of my data is from. Americans spend 3 hours on average consuming every single day between TV and social media. And if you ask them more in depth, and even just ask yourself right now, where do I spend my time? It's likely Netflix, Instagram, Facebook, podcast, YouTube. There's somewhere specific. You have your place, or your places. There might be a few because you like to change it up. Like when I'm going on a walk, I like to listen to a podcast. But when I'm like focusing, I like to listen to YouTube. Whatever it is for you, it's addictive because the smartest minds in the planet have worked on it to make it that way. So you feel a certain level of comfort, right? If you are scrolling on Instagram, say, it will show you friends of yours, people that you know, people that you follow, and then it'll throw someone else in that they think you might like. And it feels comfortable because they know the kind of people that you like. So that's where you get all of your kind of for you and suggested content, right? So like oh my gosh, if I go onto TikTok, I don't use TikTok. I have a handle. I don't use it at all. If I go there, then I see things that just blow my mind because they are just trying to guess what will keep me on the platform because I'm never there. So I just get like dance videos, and I get like people being like conspiracy theorists, which I'm like, whoa, that's not for me. If it's for you, it's for you. Sales people, motivational people. Then I'll get like, the cutest little like panda sneezing, or, it'll be all these random things. So it's a really interesting social experiment to go on a platform for the first time. And then as time goes on, you do start to kind of, I think I follow like Lizzo. So it starts to give me like all of that kind of content, like body positivity and music, and that's beautiful. But if I go to my Instagram, I can tell you right now, I could open it right now for you and you would see Taylor Swift. There will be Taylor Swift all over my For You page. There will be, or my Explore page, I think is what it's called on Instagram, if I was to get my P's and Q's in the right place. It will probably have the Vampire Diaries. Hold on, let's just do it. Let's just do it as an experiment, and you'll see that I am correct. Okay, so we've got some Mel Robbins. We don't have any, oh no, we have Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's there, T Swift's there. We have T Swift there. We have some Anne Hathaway, because I just watched a reel about her. We have all these powerful women. Most of them are women, most of them are celebrities. More Taylor Swift, more all female, all women. Oh my gosh, that's something. All women, everyone's a woman. Love that. I love that for me. Love that for me. Apart from, oh my gosh, that Jimmy Kimmel. No, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel. Oops. Jimmy Fallon. So, oh my gosh, like they know. It's there to keep us addicted, right? The smartest minds in the world made us that way. Have you ever clicked on something and it's taking a minute to load and you just instantly exit because you're like, no, this is not for me? Or you click on something and you're like, oh, like I didn't want to watch Jimmy Fallon today. He's not a woman, clearly. My Instagram has gender bias, but oh my goodness. Is that not just the most interesting? I find things like this the most interesting, because when you see it, like go and check yours now and start to like see something new in yourself. Like that was a big piece of awareness for me. That was fun. But if something takes too long to load, if something is not resonant with me, very quickly, I'll just click off it. I'll instantly exit the screen. I do it all the time. And so do you. Like, I'm not alone in this boat, right? That could be your website that someone's clicking off because it took too long to load. Because it's not a place where people are comfortable. You're trying to pull people out of a place they're comfortable. Do you know what's so interesting is when I open my Instagram, I literally just want to show you the first page and I wanted to put it down and I scrolled. You watched me scroll. Oh my gosh, like we're conditioned. I have to be very mindful of my phone because I know that when I scroll, it is just judgment and comparison. Usually that's what we're all kind of conditioned to do. So I'm like, okay, I need to be very, very conscious around my phone. But look how addictive it was. You just watched me do it. And I'm literally talking about how addicted we are to it. Like, it's ironic, right? It's ironic. But you're trying to pull people from a place where they are comfortable into a place that is uncomfortable. It doesn't work. So enter truth 3. Your website, it doesn't foster connection. It doesn't foster connection. What we have when we are scrolling is we have instant connection with the world. We have instant dopamine, right? You saw me see Anne Hathaway and Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift, right? You saw me see all these people and know who they were, right? There wasn't a single person. There was Emma Watson. There wasn't a single person on there I did not know. Mel Robbins, oh my gosh, like queen. So there wasn't a single person whose face I didn't know. I am instantly connected to these people. I know who it is. Like, that is what social media does. It gives us instant connection. So you're trying to pull people off of this place where they get connection into something that's static, into a place where people have to email you and you don't get instant results. And there are too many things to click, or there's not enough. We don't get it. We're out. It doesn't look like my Instagram that I was scrolling and I was comfortable in a minute before. The reason why people are using social media to convert sales is because people are more comfortable there. It's accessible. And the illusion is that you will reply faster. Your website doesn't give you that. So you could have the best website in the world, but you still have to direct traffic to it. So just having the website is not enough. Having the website and sharing the link, hey, check out my new website. What for? What for? What is the purpose? Who are you creating this for? That is today's power question. Who are you creating a website for? Ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Am I doing this just in case someone fumbles across my page because by some grace of the universe, it's gone to the top of Google when someone searches coach, which is, do you know how many teams and people the top coaches in the world have working on these things? And we think we're just going to like fluke to the top. I just think like that happens on social media. It doesn't happen as your website. So anyway, we've got this website. We think that maybe someone's going to crawl across it and maybe buy from us. Wouldn't it be better if you knew that people were going to come across you and you knew people were going to buy from you? For me, that's like a way better conversion. So really think about, who is this website for? And when we really start to think about the underlying truth is usually, I have to have a website to feel like I'm professional, to feel like I'm in business, to show other people something, and to get my story and my message out there. But we have infinite possibilities to get our story and our message out there multiple times a day on social media. No one wants to do that. We want to do a static website that sits there, that doesn't do anything, that we think is just going to generate income for us, and we don't have to do anything with it. That's not the case. Especially when you're a coach, you have to be serving. And this is the part that no one wants to hear, is that you really have to do the work all the time. You have to be doing it on yourself. You have to be sharing it. It gets easier over time. I've been doing this for a number of years now. It gets easier to share over time. Trust me. There are ways, there are hacks, there are things that you learn. But the more that you show up to as many people as possible, not going into your website and tweaking one word here or there, changing a color palette, changing a photo, updating that you have a new podcast that no one's listening to because you're not promoting it anywhere. That doesn't help you. That takes your time, takes your energy, takes your money, because you do have to pay to have your website, to have a domain, all of these things. So when it really comes down to it, there is nothing that will make you feel like you're in business like profiting in your business. That's what says, hey, you have a business, right? It's not, oh, I have a website. Anyone can have a website. I had a blog for, I think it was like 9 months, 10 months. 10 months is like always my cap for things. I'm like, I did it for 10 months, meh, right? Apart from coaching, which I've done for years. But, when I try something new, I'm like, I did it for 10 months and it's just like not the dream for me. But I did it for 10 months and it never converted to anything. Never converted to anything. People read it because it featured other female entrepreneurs. And as a spill out, I developed a small audience from it. That's it. But I didn't sell them anything because I didn't know this at the beginning. So if you don't know this and this is the first time you're hearing it and you're like, oh, I actually do have to have something to sell, even if it's just my one-to-one program and I don't even know what I'm saying. Yes, you have to have something. Because then everything else makes a little bit more sense. If you don't have something, if you're just coaching, you're not sure what it looks like, don't build a website. You're going to have no idea. It's going to take all your energy to try and figure out, what's my mission statement? What do I say? How do I write this about me page? Oh my gosh, that just takes up all your time and energy. And you don't know yet because you don't know who you are as a coach. Like, ouch, that one hurts. So focus on the power question. Who am I creating this website for? Is it to give yourself more clarity? If it gives you more clarity, fine, do it. But don't expect it to make you money, and realize that you're going to have to deal with the consequences of this. Will take your time. This will take your energy when you could actually be helping people. And that's the part that really hit me, is I'm taking up all my time to do all these other things when I could be helping people. And that's my purpose. Not to be so caught up. And the more people you help and the more money you make, the easier all these things become, because you can pay people to do the things that are not your zone of genius. But we like to do it backwards. We like to, hustle, grit our teeth, and waste our time and our energy. But that time, that energy is what you're taking away from your family, from your kids, from your passion projects, from your pets, from the other things you want to do, from your own meditations or spiritual practices or the things that you coach. You know how many fitness professionals literally stop working out for themselves because they just work out on and off with their clients all day? So like, I don't need to do my workout, and then they wonder why their mental health suffers. Way too many. Way too many, because they don't create the time and the energy for themselves because they're busy spilling out in places where it's not converting. And at the beginning, personal opinion, it's not helping you. So I hope this was useful. If you have a counter argument, if you want to chat about it, if you have questions, please DM me at Soul Happy Success. I'm so excited to hear. And don't forget to ask yourself the power question: who am I creating this for? And in the meantime, before we come back next week, and we're going to explore so much more about this idea of imposter syndrome that's kind of popping up, then I'll be over here believing in you, and I'll see you next week.